So I'm going to do something that I've never done before, and that's ramble. Um, Chilling in my house. It's Friday night. I think it's the 29th. But I'm flipping through Instagram and I see my buddies at Plant Body Soul have started their own podcast. And one, I'm upset that I did ask you to come on mine first. And two, I'm really proud of you guys. It's amazing. The content is very, very cool. The short form keeps everybody engaged. The guests are amazing. Jennifer and Gordon are amazing people. You guys are doing a great job, and I love it. Um, but you know what? I don't even know who the guest was. I was watching a clip, and on the clip, the gentleman said something along the lines of staying engaged and present. Doing things with cold plunge and meditation and yoga and all these types of things to cure. Or he said something. Anxiety is worrying about the future. Depression is remembering the past. That's why the present is a gift. That's why they call it the present, because it's a gift. Don't directly quote me, but it's along those lines. I watched the video, and I watched the video, and then came in and made this. I'm having weird camera issues, and I hope it doesn't happen. But that's why. Okay. I was thinking to myself that this embodies exactly what I'm trying to do with the podcast and who I am as a person. I have gone from, for lack of better words, the right wing conservative male, military law enforcement, knuckle dragging type stuff, and, gung ho, ooh rah, running around shooting things type stuff. And, in what happened in my life and took me out of law enforcement, and I discovered cannabis as a medicine and a plant-based medicine, and then hang out now with more, I don't know how else to describe it, but more left-wing, progressive, liberal type people who maybe have a bit of a softer approach, and who are, okay, so let's, like, I don't know how to say it, but like the hippies and, the granola type people. And I'm not being derogatory in any way, shape, or form. I just don't know how else to describe the two differences. But where I'm going with this stupid fucking ramble that I don't even know who's going to watch this is that they're both trying to accomplish the same thing and just doing it a little bit differently. And that is cure anxiety, cure depression. One does it in a more aggressive way, and the other does it with a softer approach. And I'm not saying that one can't cross over and do the other. That's not what I'm saying. And also the people on the right, the more conservative types, the more aggressive style, are starting to integrate different ideas such as yoga, meditation, and cold plunge. So, and that's one of the things, though, is that it's like they're both trying to do the same thing, just in a different way, and they keep thinking the other way is wrong, instead of just taking a step back and saying, no, we're actually trying to both do the same thing. And that's where I was just getting to think about myself and what I'm trying to do with this podcast is that is exactly it. I'm trying to show the left of the right of the left, specifically with my focus in education and background in law enforcement, trying to explain why I'm here and law enforcement related things, pardon me. And then once I discovered plant-based medicine and started seeing there's just a different way of getting to the same result, which is safe, secure, happy, type things, safe neighborhoods, uplifting people and all that good stuff. And we all just want to be happy, healthy, we all just want to be, deal with our issues, anxiety, depression, PTSD, all that type of stuff. And we're all just trying to get there in a different way, but actually some of them are starting to align. And I just wish that everybody could just take a step back and realize that, it's so cliche and stupid, but, we have more similarities than differences if we just sat down and talked. And I understand there's lots of politics and ideology and all that type of stuff, but at the same time, this way says, I'll just hit something super fucking controversial right now. This way says we're trying to save the kids, so we're going to allow them this, and this side says we're trying to save the kids. We're not going to allow them this, and it's like, well, you're both trying to save the kids, but you're just not understanding the other one's point of view. I don't know which one's right. I don't know which one's wrong. I'm not gonna, I don't think, whatever. But there's just no communication going on. There's no sitting down and talking. It's just shouting and yelling and screaming and, all the stupid pundits on, just shouting their opinions. And here I am, shouting my opinion, for lack of a better term. But that's the whole thing that I'm trying to do with the podcast, to show the cops, the cannabis side, the cannabis, the cop side, from my point of view, and was the fact that, you're in a horrific car accident at 1:00 in the morning. Who's the first one that's going to be there? It's a police officer. And, trying to show the cannabis side of the house, to the law enforcement, saying, hey, it's about mental health, wellness. It's about, just having a good time. And also, they're extremely wealthy individuals who are using this medicine, and not just wealthy. And I'm not talking about that, just money, but I mean, just articulate people, creative, just amazing people who use plant-based medicine. And it shouldn't be stigmatized. And we should all be just trying to understand we're trying to do the right thing individually, but we're not working on the community as a whole. And we're just pitting each other against each other on everything. And that's where I just think that I have something to say. I have something to share. If you notice on my podcast who I try to have, and again, just for stupid lack of a better words, like I try to have a left person, then a right person, then a left person, then a right person. I try to go back and forth, just so it's kind of a, nuanced perspective on things and balance and all that good stuff. And I'm not scared to talk to anybody about anything. And I have several people that I'm reaching out to. But again, this is just a rant that I just want people to understand and realize that, like, I want to sit here and heart my message that, I want to create good stuff for you people to learn and for everybody to learn from, and then just sit down and have conversations. Like, one of the ones I love is Julie Gunnagle and I. Like I said, we could sit and talk for hours and we can respectfully disagree and move on. But then actually, when we sit and talk, we actually arrive at the same place, just at a different way. We go our own ways. And I wish that, we could just stop with the extremist. We could stop with the fucking pandering. We could stop with not listening and not hearing. And look, I'm totally guilty of doing that. I'm totally guilty of, being a hypocrite in this aspect and not hearing what's being said to me and all that good stuff. Trust me, talk to my wife about that. She'll agree with that. But I'm just saying, as a whole in society, we need to be able to listen to each other and have ideas. And that's why I am absolutely a free speech absolutist. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, say whatever you want. I don't care. The fact that you stopped by and left a comment makes me happy. But I did the episode with Deputy Slope, and I didn't block any comments. I took one comment down, and the only comment I will ever take down on my YouTube channel, it was a direct threat, and I did report that person. It was, if somebody says so-and-so should die, that's not a direct threat. That's free speech. But if somebody says, go kill that person, that's a direct threat. That needs to be reported. So I'll never, ever block any comments. Say what you want to say. I don't believe in censoring my ears from hearing other people's thoughts and ideas just because I might disagree with them. And never once did I read any of the negative comments and feel the need to snap back and try to change their mind because they're not going to listen. So again, I just try to say that I'm trying to show that if we can just come together and listen and have a balanced, nuanced perspective and conversation, we might be able to start getting some places. And it just seems the further we go down this path, the more and more and more and more and more, the more we're getting divided. And I don't want that. And I don't want that at all. And I don't want citizens to be afraid of cops. And I don't want cops to hate citizens. And I know that there's a lot of that right now. I understand that. I get that. I know that there's a lot of things that need to be brought up. But the one thing I'll always stand by the fact is that on the law enforcement side of the house, you want better cops. You need to pay them better. You need to expect better. You need to extend training, you need to extend funding, and you need to find better people. You lower that bar, you defund the police, which has happened, you're going to get worse and worse and worse outcomes of police officers. You're going to get the people who couldn't do any other job. Because let's face it, the academic standards to become a police officer in most states is very, very low. Here in Arizona, you got to be 21 and have your high school education. That's it. You go much lower than that, we're going to have serious problems. But you're going to have worse outcomes. You're going to have more bad shootings. You're going to have more bad uses of force. You're going to have more civil rights violations. On that note, I just want to, again, try to have balanced, nuanced perspectives. I don't want to go off on too much of a rant there, but I also understand the frustration of the heavy-handed police. I do understand that. I do feel that component, and I do understand. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. I hit shit all the time. I understand that nuanced perspective. I understand racial discrimination. I do. I get it. I understand it. But then again, there's so much more that I have a nuanced perspective as well, particularly when it comes to immigration. I was not an immigration agent in any way, shape, or form. I was a state trooper. But I did do a lot with human smuggling and criminal interdiction and human trafficking. That was my specialty for many, many years. So I do have an understanding of that and where this is going in the immigration and all that. And I could take, there's spots in Arizona that are about a 50-minute drive from south of Phoenix, and you'll be in the desert and you'll be picking up as much drugs as you want or as many humans as you want. Like, this shit's real and it's open, and there's children that are coming across. Like, this shit's real. It's very real. Saw an outstanding documentary film by an independent journalist named Peter Santinello. So his stuff is amazing, especially on the border. That's happening now. But again, I'm just trying to show that, and again, I understand from the other side too, is trying to come home and make a better life for yourself, or trying to come out of oppression and make a better life for yourself. I see that side too. And I've dealt firsthand with that. I've dealt firsthand with the people that were going through that. And I've heard their stories, and I've sat and listened to them, and I've given them food and water when they fled from the vehicle and they hadn't eaten in 4 or 5 days and were out in the hot Arizona sun and passed out, 50 yards after they started running away because they didn't have any food or water in them. And we went and got them food. Well, the Guadalupe Fire Department actually went and got them food and water and sat them down and got them food and water. And all they were trying to do is come and make a better life for themselves. I get it. So I've had these conversations. I've dealt with the people, and I'm not cold-hearted about it. But again, this was just a ramble, and this is just a rant. So I just want to be able to bring you guys content where we talk about these things and show the nuanced perspectives. And I like conflict in the regards of when we're trying. And again, I'm not a scholar. I'm not the end-all be-all, and I'm not married to any of my ideas. I'm willing to have conversations, and I'm also willing to understand or, admit the fact that, like, when if I don't know something, I don't know something. But let's talk about it. Let's find experts. Let's not just use talking points, from the news media that have no sources or anything like that. Let's, go through it together and research it and get to the bottom of things. So, again, just a rant. I've never done one of these before, but and the whole thing that started this, like I said, to circle back to that, to go back to the beginning, was watching that Plant Body Soul video and seeing the gentleman making the person who was making these statements about, being grounded and the anxiety and the present depression, all that stuff. And it's like, we all have our issues, and we all need to own our issues and take personal responsibility for our issues. And we all it's incumbent upon us to get better and to seek out help. So that's the ultimate goal, is to be a better version of ourselves. And I try to do that on a daily basis, and I fail miserably every single day. But to move forward in a positive way together. And I understand there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. But if this country continues to be divided, we're going to be a lot more shit. So this is my stupid fucking rant. Take care. Love you all. Peace. God bless America.